From the break, this is the second hour of the dialogue on Sol TV as the panel continues to interrogate the events happening within the NRM ruling political party. Looking back at the chaotic 17th July elections to pick the flag bearers for the party in parliament, a process that has been now concluded but has been marred by gross irregularities, including intimidation of the members, the candidates, bribery, but also alteration of results. Of course, prompting the national chairman to intervene. The president himself issued a statement condemning the violence, but also stripped the party electoral commission of powers to continue receiving the petitions. And tribunal has been put in place, already 381 petitions on table, and now the counter awaits the handling of these petitions and how the party cohesion will be maintained after big wigs in the party came out threatening that they are going to run as independents, but also a possibility of quitting the party. How will the party respond to this internal dissent, and what does it mean to the future of democracy in Uganda? That is the question, and we now invite your comments and observations. Tell us what you think are the effects of these internal processes, which look not so good, but of course threaten the party and the democracy. What signals can we pick from these incidents, and can we say these actions are pangs of democracy? That is what we must, or the membership of NRM must endure, to put in place a strong structure for democracy, or what is it? Dr. Gerard Were Wanzala is in the studio. Dr. Daniel Rugalama is in the studio, but we miss out on Comrade Ndugu Tinkasimire. He's abroad on national duties. But we have a special guest, Madame Flavia Nakafero from the newly formed Democratic Front, and she is the aspiring woman, district woman, member of parliament for Wakiso. Let me quickly hear from you, Madame Nakafero. From the latest submissions these gentlemen have delivered, what do you think is happening as the country treads the journey, the democratic journey?
Come again?
What do you read from the submissions as we look at the country's democratic journey?
Yes, as I was deliberating before the break, as sad that it has got our country to this level. And as I was saying, it is really sad that a Ugandan will see elections going on and just bypass and will say, I won't participate in that, because they know what will come out may not tally with what they want. So they will be like, let me just let that go. So you will find that so many people won't participate. And our country, as Uganda, being a democratic nation, it is sad that we have got to that level. People are supposed to exercise their right peacefully and happily. Someone is supposed to wake up very early in the morning and know that the voting process is going to take place and I should participate. So it worries us to that level. And
you fear the voters may shun the 2026 elections?
Yes, because also there's violence involved. There's military, there's army involved. So people are scared for their lives. And we want all our brothers and sisters alive after. So this worries us as the opposition side of government, that unless reforms are done, we cannot continue like this. It is so sad that it has gotten to this level. As I was discussing with a few members, we were wondering how then, what is the best solution for all this? Because elections are fast approaching, and our cry was only to the EC, the Electoral Commission, to try as much as they can to organize a free and fair election, because right now that is the only thing that can be done for our motherland.
Okay.
Yes, please. And removing the army and military from elections. Let us have leaders of integrity. Also, leaders who are bribing should not be taken into consideration by Ugandans. If you see that someone bribed their way on top, ignore them. Please do not vote such leaders when the national election comes. Let us leave them to bribe through their party primaries, but when it comes to the national level, let us try to shun them, because if they can start that way below, how about when they have these positions of government? I think they will now be worse, and they will be doing things as of when. Also, impunity, something has to be done about it, because you see some people have these positions where they reach direct to the top, and there's nothing that can be done because someone reaches directly to the top. Then how can even these laws that are there prevent him from doing whatever he or she can do? So we have to fight impunity, we have to fight bribery, we have to fight corruption, and we need changes. Before organizing an election, we should make sure that we have electoral reforms.
We have witnessed similar incidents even within the opposition political parties. We've heard of political parties that even sell cards prior to elections. We have heard of opposition members who even bribe their way into power or positions of power. Can DF, as new as it is, build a structure, build a system that can be, that can be void of such malpractices?
Yes, of course, and that is why the DF is here, because by the mere looking at everything that has been going on in other parties as well as the ruling party, this is a party that now comes up with the solutions, because they have seen what has transpired in all other political parties, and we are creating a solution. We want leaders of substance. We want things to move back to where they were. We want Ugandans to love their country because they have lost a sense of patriotism. We want change. So that means that for those who are also in opposition and are buying or bribing to get tickets, the country is looking. Let us try to put those on the side and go with the leaders who have the heart of this country, leaders who wish for change and leaders who wish to liberate this country. What you have left is also the bit of violence also on the opposition side. I would wish that if our goal is to liberate this country, we need to liberate this country and come out when we are alive. So for our take in DF is that we should strategize. Ours is to lay strategies. How do we peacefully transition from NRM to another government of power? Let us strategize. You don't need to be the loudest. You may be the loudest and make too much noise without any strategy. So ours is a peaceful transition and dialogue, and making sure that people have strategies that will be able to impact change, not just fighting, not violence, but we need tangible change.
Thank you so much, Madam Nakafiro and Dr. Jiro Luanzala. Looking at this disgruntlement within the NRM membership, what can we expect? Should we expect the 12th Parliament to be dominated by independents? And do you think the NRM leadership has capacity to rein on these, frustrated members, and they remain within the fold of NRM?
Apple, maybe for the benefit of viewers, I want to say that in the current parliament, we have about 117 independent members of parliament.
Sure.
They are more than the entire opposition combined. So it shows you that given what has happened,
And the
the
NRM
number
leaning.
is like that one does not matter.
It
But
does.
it does not matter, because at the end of the day, independence can also import indiscipline in the party. So you be not building, but because they're enticed with money, with benefits, they just hang in there knowing the repercussions. But when their heart is not in that party. So for me, if I believe that too much money was used to disadvantage me, okay? If I believe that the voters register was messed up by some people for selfish reasons, if I know, like in Lwemiyaga, that security took sides, the UPDF became an active participant, including the head of the UPDF cheering on Twitter and so forth. So how can I accept such an election if the elections that the results that I had, declaration forms that I tallied, do not look the same with what has been tallied the other side? How do I believe? If the conflict resolution mechanism is not sufficient to give me an opportunity, why should I accept that? First of all, the Constitution guarantees a right to contest as independents. Recently, the Honorable Minister of Justice, Norbert Mao, attempted to bring an amendment to bar people who lose in primaries from contesting as independents. Many people rejected. The NRM people did not even want to hear about it, because if the process leading to election of flag bearers is flawed, then people should be given the opportunity to stand as independents. But leaving that aside, isn't it the high time that we thought about our electoral system also as a country? Doesn't this process of fronting individuals, it has to be me at every level, promoting, corruption, bribery, because I have to sell my properties as a person in order to go and win a seat? And when do I expect after? What do I expect after? I expect to be a transactional leader. If I'm in the parliament, I have to take a bribe from corporations. If I sit on public accounts committee, I will have to go and explode so that I return what I spend. There are some interesting models on our continent here. I don't want to go outside this continent. We have the South African model, where in elections, there is no picture of a person, there's no picture of, say, Gerard. People will be in their constituency voting a party. Then when they vote a party, at the end of the day, the political party seats, they have what they call the party list, leaders list. They will allocate you a constituency. And then with that, you don't have that direct interaction to bribe people to buy, I saw a talk show last week, I think, after the parliamentary primaries involving Muyanga Lutaya, somewhere in Busoga, how he was confessing and even picked a band of money from the jacket, said, we had to spend this money, we're all buying. Otherwise, if you don't buy, you are not going anywhere. Is that sustainable? Is that kind of political environment going to give us the leaders that we want? At the end of the day, we are fighting with legitimacy as leaders. People are not looking at institutions as legitimate. They are not looking at leaders as legitimate. The debate now in the villages is that you have eaten for the last 5 years, let's withdraw you, and then we take another one to eat. So it makes leadership lose value.
Yeah.
It makes leadership lose value, and we look at leadership as another business enterprise. Look at the caliber of leaders we used to have before 2006 and the caliber of leaders we have now. It is totally different.
Okay, viewers continue to send in your messages. Let's hear you talk about this, these frustrations within the NRM, and what are the likely consequences if the party leadership doesn't address their issues effectively. Luckily that the tribunal has been set up. It will start work on Tuesday next week, but how far we need to go to resolve these differences? Because to me, it looks like even the creation of the tribunal has somehow triggered many more petitions to come, because now everyone is saying, I was reached out, now I'm going to petition. I don't know why.
I don't know how
if it
that
has exacerbated the whole situation.
I don't know the model of the tribunal's operations, whether they are going to work through subcommittees.
Yeah, true.
But if
they have set up different committees.
Because if you look at from parliamentary elections, 300 and how many? 381 petitions. Then now we are having those that are coming from the fallout, and then you have 30 days.
Yeah.
So you must do magic for you to be able to scrutinize all these petitions. But anyway, at the end of the day, the head of the NRM, who is the president, has to appear to be in charge, in control, because then you risk internal revolt. You must create an environment for at least people to feel their problem is being handled. But I have friends in NRM who have already declared, no matter the outcome,
they will go.
They are already on the ground. They don't care about the outcome of.
Okay, Comrade Rugalama, what do you think will come out of the tribunal, and especially with your national chairman, President Museveni, pronouncing himself on this matter, saying that this is, most of the cases are actually criminal, and it is politically dangerous that the self-seekers has infiltrated the whole process?
If, for instance, what we are gathering from the field is anything to go by, situations whereby a returning officer declares two candidates as winners, situations whereby some of the declaration forms were intercepted on the way to the final tally center and substituted, situations whereby the security is trying to bring sanity back into a district, and somebody purports to come with the transfer of an RDC simply because the RDC says, no, you're not going to cause chaos in my district. As the head of security, I must take charge. Let the proper candidate be declared, and that one is threatened with a transfer. If that is the kind of situation that we are talking about, then I think some of the elections will either be repeated in some of the constituencies. If they are not to be repeated,
do we have time for
that? Unfortunately, it may not be there.
Because even from the chair of the tribunal, it was communicated that their decision will be the final.
Yes, supposing the decision is that to repeat the exercise. Okay. You see, if you close certain windows and yet they are the only avenues of addressing the problem, what are you therefore saying? Because you see, I was coming to a point whereby I'm saying, we risk increasing on the number of independents. And I was whispering to Dr. Wanzara here, say that these independents you are talking about are actually NRM leaning. The point I was making is that when we have got internal rift to the extent that we are increasing the number of independents, that's already the revolt that he was talking about. We are within our own party, we are increasing the number of rebels. Then we have to reconcile with them at a later stage where we say, now you see, now that you finally appeared successfully through the Byabakama election, ours was not good enough, and you have come back. Let's strike a deal. Then we have these deals, a cooperation agreement between ourselves and you.
Independent.
You see, at any one given time, when I have got this cooperation agreement, I will not be for you. I will be looking at you with a suspicious eye, and God knows. If we have these independents growing to a tune of 300, because we already have a bar of well over 400 now. Now, if those guys come, and under those circumstances I have just described, that somebody will raise you and substitutes an entire final tally and says this is what it is. When you say produce the declaration forms, like Sechko was saying, I hope he's not right, because that would be terrible, that now give me, because there is the concept of full disclosure, give me the tally, the declaration forms, I compare
with what I have.
And then it takes you 2-3 days. Why should that happen? So therefore, my take is that NRM, I agree, is a mass party, and like any other political party.
Doctor said you just pretend to be.
No, of course,
it could be a mass party, but what I disrepute is saying we have 19 million voters.
Is talking about supporters and membership. And I agree with him. There is a difference between supporters and membership. When you look at what a member is supposed to be vis-a-vis a supporter, it becomes,
majority of you are just supporters.
Like football clubs. Football clubs, they are members of Villa. But the biggest block is supporter. There are many supporters who are not necessarily members. So, and it happens in the political parties. But we say, again, when you say that the majority of you are supporters, it is what the political party is actually putting out there. When you want to become people, you must have internal mechanisms that makes your political party very attractive, that those who are supporters, mere supporters, this time become members. That's the point we are making.
Which you risk to lose now, and that you have internal dissent.
That becomes a problem, and that's our worry. We are saying that as NRM, are we doing enough to attract? Because you see, the level of participation seem as if we have got a better chances anybody who is joining, because look at people who have come from different other political parties and they have joined us. We were talking about our brother here, Sam Gore's constituents. Wakida was not our member. He came immediately, did what he did. NRM provided him with the ticket. Now he's there. And there are many like him. We are saying
there are fewer this time around.
Yes, we are saying therefore what NRM needs to do. And my sister here was saying, probably we don't have a lot to learn from NRM, especially judging from the recently concluded primaries. I want to submit that there is so much to learn from NRM, including the mistakes NRM has.
They learn the mistakes.
They don't have to learn the mistakes. The mistakes provide a lesson that these errors, we don't have to do the errors that were done in NRM from, I mean, in a DF.
In their DF,
So even in mistakes, we have got, we take learning lessons.
Thank you. Madam Flavia, it would be an opportunity for you, the DF and the entire opposition, to exploit the weaknesses today you have actually pointed out in the NRM. But it looks like you're not doing it. You have not attracted, I mean, these disgruntled members of NRM to your own parties. Isn't that a weakness on your side?
No, actually, that's the difference between other opposition parties and the DF. For us, we are open.
You are only recruiting from the opposition?
No, we are open. If you're NRM and you want to join us, our hands
But you have
open.
not attracted them?
No, they are coming because most of them are now trying to petition and all that, but many are going to be frustrated after the petitioning process.
So you hope they will come?
So we hope they will come. We are just waiting for them. They're on their way.
I will read some messages before we proceed, because I can see some messages are coming in. Okay. I start with SMS here. He says, Henry Baguma in Nakawa, welcome to the political world, Honorable Flavia Nakafero.
Oh, thank you so much.
My question is, what will be your major area of focus once elected MP in 2026? Thanks, Henry Baguma in Nakawa. You can respond if
Yes, I can respond to that quickly. So first of all, I always tell people that as an MP, you have to know what your role is as a member of parliament. Despite the general roles, which we all know, representation, because you have to represent all your people, because not everyone can sit on the floor. We have oversight, we have budgeting, we have you know, all those roles. But then there's just something that touches my heart, is that as Ugandans, or mainly the people of Wakiso that I'm set to represent, have not enjoyed a piece of the share from the national cake. So mine is to redeem what is for Wakiso. Of course, there are so many things which we have not got as Wakiso. We believe that our population is fast growing. If our population is fast growing, then we need to change some of the legislation laws, because some of them were made even before the population was this big. And we are fast urbanizing. So there's a lot to be done. Mine is first to make sure that we make the laws which are appropriate for Wakiso as a district, so that we share from the national cake. Look at things like each parish is supposed to have at least one UPE school, and at least a constituency in Wakiso is supposed to have at least one USE school, Universal Secondary Education. But is that the case? So mine is to begin with correcting that legislation process, and there's a lot, but
there's a lot. Yes. Okay, another message comes in. One of the causes of low voter turn-up is intimidation, beating, harassment, etc. at the polling stations, as it happened in Remiaga County. Unless that habit stops, we are not different from Amin. I am Nathan. Actually,
yes,
the low turn-up that was witnessed during the local government primaries, can it be attributed to what was witnessed in the
frustration?
Yes,
previous primaries?
Somehow the voters, there's voter fatigue and frustration. That one is key. But also in the parliamentary, there are a lot of enticements, money, fairing voters with borders to turn up. But for local governments, the use of money reduces because you find the NLOC 5 candidate has to cover the entire district. So the motivation also reduces because people, there's a way they rate the... But then this message commenting about electoral violence. Now, just imagine you are using voting by lining up. The army has taken sides. At the polling stations, there are sticks. Everybody is carrying a stick like what we saw in Rwemiyaga. And then you are expected to go and line up behind the Sechkubo's agent, and then you go and sleep peacefully. Definitely, as a helpless voter in the village, you will be worried. You would rather stay home and not turn up. So violence actually forces voters to stay home, like what we saw in Kawempe.
Okay, Jimmy in Kampala, I can see your message. Okay, thanks for the dialogue program, and he appreciates us. Okay, blessings. Thank you so much, Jimmy in Kampala. Moses Wakoli say thank you so much and salutations to the panel. The problems of NRM will eventually spill over into other political parties, and that is our greatest worry, that even the opposition that should set an alternative would also be like the NRM. Is that so, that the opposition will also copy or adopt what NRM is doing, and eventually we will find ourselves in a mess?
But if you look at these political parties, look at how DP had their delegates conference. Then you see people being chased with the boxes, going to hide in some room to count votes. The situation is not any better. Today, as I speak, the Honorable Jimmy Akena has run with a small group of people to his wife's hotel in Kamudin, saying he's holding a delegates conference. After last week, the courts of Uganda ruling that he has served his 2 terms and is not entitled to be a party president again because he has not amended the constitution. So in such chaos, and then you have the opposition trying to do the same, then it may become a challenge. And this is what we have always cautioned. When President Museveni a few years back said that these political parties, watch out, after 5 years, I'm going to finish them. I'm going to finish them. This is not good for the country. Political parties are vehicles for training leaders. They are vehicles for ascending to an organized way of ascending to political power. And then there are also alternative governments that are supposed to be incubation centers for alternative government policy. You remember in 2001 when Dr. Kizza Besigye first emerged, he went on policy issues. One was on sponsorship at university. He said, we need to, when I become president, I will increase the number of students who are going to public universities, free. And in the middle of the campaign, President Museveni doubled from 2,000 to 4,000. That is policy. I remember people like Dr. Kule Park in Parliament. They went and did a study on graduated tax. They said this graduated tax, the cost of collection was higher than the money that they were collecting in most districts. And the little they collected would end up in the pockets of the chiefs and so forth. So they recommended, let's abolish G-tax and introduce other alternative taxes that are easy to collect, that are convenient. You don't have to chase a person to crossing the road knocked with the car because he's running away from
men were no longer sleeping at home.
Yes. So we need credible opposition political parties, and this is the spirit why this funding through iPod from the taxpayer electoral commission to the political parties came up. That if NUP receives the 3.7 billion from government, from the taxpayer of Uganda, they should be able to hold the trainings, they should be able to mentor their leaders, they should be it's not for some leaders to eat and then eventually Ugandans don't have an alternative where to go to.
Okay, quickly as I cross over to Dr. Rugarama, the question I asked Madam Nakafero, don't you think the opposition have not leveraged on these weaknesses, internal weaknesses in NRM, to attract members? Because it looks like they are now poaching from within the opposition.
If you look at the political parties, in which form right now are they? They don't have resources. Okay. Take for instance the DP. Can DP poach from NRM? Where is the president of DP? If you look at the Honorable Jimmy Akena, the UPC, his faction has basically stayed at Uganda House because
the opposition
because his wife is in the cabinet, and then he has an informal working relationship with the president of Uganda. So for him, he has to concentrate on his Lango area and get a few votes and continue.
The opposition NUP has had an opportunity to get some funding through the electoral commission, at least.
Yeah, but you can.
But they are not attracting.
But no, NUP actually has been trying to make efforts. Like right now in our areas, there are candidates sponsoring themselves and so forth. But the operating environment also has not allowed them to operate freely. Where I've seen Bobby Wine, even the recent moves, trainings they are having, you find the whole barracks coming up to stop them. So the environment does not allow political parties
in any way conducive
to grow. Yes.
Somebody sends in a message. It's only violence in NRM which makes it useless. I don't get the context.
And by the way, this is the last one.
In which is
most of very many candidates we are seeing in NRM participating tooth and nail to get the flag. Many of them do not even believe in NRM. They even don't know what NRM stands for.
Sure.
But because NRM is present in the country, people see it's the only group they are seeing every day. They have the money, they have the offices, they have. So people look, and since politics has become a kind of lucrative, so it is the only vehicle. There is let's all of us enter and we fight from there.
That's how politicians operate. Even in Kenya, where it's where.
No,
Comrade Rugarama, there is this model of lining up behind candidates.
No,
Has it in any way also exacerbated this whole confusion within the NRM primaries?
I remember telling you here, Comrade Aporo, and our viewers that I do not support that. And I think largely it is happening mainly because at the level of a political party like NRM, although we collected well over 10 billion shillings through the nomination fees, I do not think that, because nomination fees are not collected every year, so it is every after
5 years.
5 years. And that is little money also, 10 billion shillings. But the point I'm making is that it would have been expensive if we had gone into secret ballot kind of voting. Of course, people will say it has got its own advantages. You are able to count properly. You are able to know who
But you can imagine with the lining up, which would be an easy method. Now the declarations are actually, some of them are coming out after 1 week.
Even more
after 1 week.
That's why we were saying the problem actually in my assessment, and those who have taken time to sit down and do a honest analysis, is not money. It's not money or the ability to finance the exercise. No, the problem is those elements, the indisciplined elements within the party, those who want to nationalize the exercise even when it is a political party exercise. Because everything, and also wanting to put everything back to the president. Yes, as the level of being the chairperson of the party, all right. But there has been, when you look at the bipartisan, what would the army, for instance, be doing in a political party primaries? You see, these are some of the issues, and we have to be honest with ourselves. That's the only way that the Bible says,
but
say the truth and the truth shall set you
if
free.
people are violent and they are actually unleashing gunfire at each other, then possibly you expect the army
there
to
would be
to
no
come in.
problem with because when it comes to an election exercise of this nature, and especially in a mass party like NRM, you can understand if, for instance, there is a joint security operation. But I don't think that we have had a situation in any part of the country that would call for UPDF to participate. You're a journalist, you can point it out. I don't think there was such a situation in Uganda. I don't think
That
there was such a
warranted
situation
UPDF
that warranted
to intervene.
UPDF. To the extent that a week before the actual
IGP.
voting, somebody had to die. You see? So anyway, the point really here is, yes, granted, NRM, when you look at the political environment now, we have got increasing numbers of political parties that are coming up, including my sister's political party, DF, and so many others. They have come up, meaning that the political climate, if you take it at surface value, the political climate, therefore, enabling different shades of opinion is being allowed to thrive. Now, it is another thing when we see them in action. How is the sitting government going to allow them to survive and thrive?
All right.
Then finally. Probably is also to look at the element of this exercise that has just been concluded. And there are other efforts, of course, which are coming up. How are we going to, the moment the petitions that have come up are not properly handled, and we begin intimidating those that have petitioned, that when we decide here, it is final.
It's final.
I don't think that is going to be helpful.
You either quit the party or you...
They will come independent and they will polarize the parliament. I think we need to be extremely very careful because the numbers of petitions are also worrying. There are too many.
I think they're also running against time, because if you allow several levels of appeal, then that means more time to handle these issues.
There is such a thing as the cost of democracy. When you start
There is a calendar.
yes, there is a calendar
of the NRM vis-a-vis the calendar of the
national good. Yes, granted, and we are aware of all that. But you see, even when you have said it is going to be 1 month, let that 1 month produce very substantial a dispensation of democracy.
So the tribunal is now at a test.
The tribunal must do its work without any influence and do it intelligently, but most importantly, democratically.
Thank you. Praise God, Mr. Apollo. Is this NRM primaries? In this NRM primaries, we have learned many things. Most especially, people no longer participate in elections. Instead, they need transport and some upkeep. Meaning, if the participant is not well off, no vote.
True.
Let's advocate for the love of our country. This is Pastor Tuliyo Muliwe Ivan Salongo Luero Sanana. Okay. Thank you so much, Salongo Ivan, for that comment and observation. You say you agree?
Yeah,
I agree. I've monitored the elections. I've seen candidates employ bicycles, motorcycles to go and bring voters.
Oh.
And in the process, they're actually giving money. And transport.
Let's keep those messages coming in. We only have less than 15 minutes to close the show. Members, much as you are concentrating on NRM, there is even more dust inside the opposition. And one of the reasons for split groups, this is Henry Baguma. And I think that is what I talked about, Flavia.
Yes.
That even as we speak about the ills in NRM, similar issues are happening in the opposition where you belong.
Yes, yes, and I responded by saying that we have monitored what has been going on. We have seen what NRM has put on table. We have seen what other opposition parties have put on table. And we are creating the voice that will help to rectify all these issues. And that is why DF has come up. Though I did not go through the constitution and all the values and ideologies, but they are really rich to address all these issues. Yes, I think we should give DF a chance so that people can know that there's a solution. I see Ugandans lose hope easily. You see, everyone is giving you a comment as if nothing can happen. So we are bringing this hope to Ugandans. We can still be patriotic. Yes, Uganda can still refrain from over-centralization, because we see most of these problems are coming due to over-centralization. Power is concentrated at the top and only one person. Why would all the things be addressed to President Museveni? Why would he be doing all the work when he has RDCs everywhere, when he has ministers everywhere? So there are so
But the ministers
issues.
are the ones now who are at the center of the controversies.
So
That's the challenge.
And that is what
some
we are
of them
saying.
have turned victims.
Yes.
Like I said, Honorable Nabanja, right? Honorable Nabanja was also
Yes, was also
assaulted.
slapped. So as I was saying, in summary, we shall lament and cry about so many wrongdoings and all the wrongs that are happening, but we need three things. As I said, we need administrative reforms, we need constitutional reforms as a country, as well as electoral reforms. And if given a chance next time, I will come and break all of them down, and that is how Uganda will proceed, and people will love our country once again.
Your final comment, Madam Nakafero, on the show, as we now await to see what will happen.
Yes, my final comment goes to the people of Wakiso district. People of Wakiso district, please look at all the leaders who come to you seeking for your vote, and look at who has the values that you align with. I think I have all the values that you align with. So just give me a chance to go and prove to you that Wakiso can also share the piece, its share on the national cake. We are not sharing as we should, and I know that that is my role once you give me the chance. I want to send greetings to all the people of Wakiso, people in the markets, border riders, everyone, the elites, everyone in Wakiso who wants change and who loves Wakiso. Please vote for me. Next time I will come and give you my manifesto. For now, we have a different topic at hand. I won't go through all that, but greetings to my mom who is watching right now, Ajatas Fanagadia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Comrade Rugarama, are you certain that when we return, we'll be saying, yes, the NRM leadership has done enough to maintain party cohesion and to reign on these challenging moments?
No, NRM, first of all, we need to enhance the administration of justice at lower levels, especially within our party. Some of these problems, for instance, that have come to the headquarters here could have been handled at a regional level.
They tried. It would have been handled at district level, but the registrars are the ones who now, causing all the confusion.
Don't you know, for instance, how many conflicts have we handled? We have got regional chairpersons, Eastern, Western. How many petitions were handled at regional level? Probably, if that was a challenge,
But
then we need to increase. That's the challenge also. You see, in your absence, even when you are challenged, are they saying that the candidates, because Museveni, or the chairperson, is also a candidate, he has already indicated, but it leaves him as a candidate. Anyway, really, at the end of the day, the NRM has showed the rest of the world and internally here in the country that we can
they are also good in terms of violence.
No. That we can have internal democracy, and we exercise it by allowing the party members to participate in this election. Not everything has gone right, because as you have seen, there are a number of petitions that have come as a result of what we have just concluded. Okay. The challenge now goes to the NRM as a party, especially the decision makers, that there are certain things which we can do right without having to appeal to higher levels.
Good.
It is within us to clean our house, so that we radiate positive energy to the rest of the political parties.
Thank you.
Maybe most important,
time.
Yes,
comrade.
Most important also to say, look, the grievances that have been registered with the national party or the national tribunal must be expeditiously handled in a manner that is convincing to even the onlookers.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Dr. Wiri, your final comment?
Yeah, if you have about 400 and probably 12 direct constituencies, and then you are having 380 petitions from those constituencies, it is almost a 100% petition rate. So if you are to evaluate yourself about the success of your democracy, so many questions. Can NRM go to a point of reflection early? Because I remember there was an election where the president just gave up and said, now let everybody in the village vote. I don't know whether NRM is going to be built like that, even after President Museveni has left. Now, lastly, human beings, we are all potential criminals. We have the ability to err, okay? But usually it is the systems that we create. This is tacit management theories. It is the systems that we create, the processes and the rules that tame our behavior.
Sure.
Therefore, NRM, if someone is convicted of instigating violence and beating, and that person participates again in the coming election, are you still instilling discipline in the organization?
That is the question. Good afternoon, Sol TV. Giving money or commercialization of politics Nebigenderako has been put at a higher level by President Museveni. Why would the president give out cash money to individuals, organizations, etc., instead of money being channeled through respective ministries, organizations? That was a comment from Mudua Rose, and we must close the show. My name is Principal. My appreciation goes to all the viewers, but also my panel. Madam Flavia Nakafero, thank you so much for coming, and we really appreciate your participation today. And we hope to have you on the panel another time.
I'll be back. Thank you so much for having me.
Dr. Comrade Rugarama, thank you so much for coming. And we hope to see you again next week.
Thank you.
Dr. Werihe, thank you so much. Always an honor to have you on the show.
My pleasure, and wishing my sister Nakafero well. I'm have what
Thank you so much.
Hey.
Yes.
To the production team, thank you. Thank you so much. Those who sent in the comments or observations, thank you. Until next Saturday, God bless you, and God bless Uganda. Good afternoon.